So the first thing we should understand that what is the requirement of master on spiritual path? Is there any requirement or no?
Yes.
If you say yes or if you say no, you should have a valid reason for that. I can explain you the small logic behind why. As we are celebrating Guru Purnima over here, so I'm just putting this point first. Before few days, I went to one of the electronic store and I had seen one device which is called the virtual reality. Virtual reality is a device where you can just put up your phone, there are some software, some videos you can play, and it is so real. When you wear it, you can convince yourself, like at least 50%, more than 50%, you can convince yourself that you are there, whatever the shown in video. If anyone had experienced it, that's fine. If no, they can try. But the thing is, they are saying that, let's say you want to go in some of the aquarium where there are a number of fish or and different things to see. You don't have to go there. What you can do, you can download the movie, you can download the software, put it in the virtual reality device, wear it and just look at the screen. It is really good because when you wear it, you see upstairs, you can see the upper ceiling. When you see backside, you can see the back area of aquarium, not what is behind you. So that is so powerful that you can convince at least your 50% of the mind convinced that okay, yes, this is a reality. And now onwards, people are making those type of videos in such a way that you don't need to go anywhere. Like I'm planning to go Paris. Why? Because if I go to Paris and I can see the long building over there and I want to see the tower and everything. But now what happened? I just download the video, put the video in, and I can see that, and I can go to Paris by video. I just have to look around, I can see everything, what is my front, what is my back, who is next, who is on left side, right side. So by this way, at least I have a feeling of tower. Now I have that experience already now. I already seen the Paris Tower. Now what I have to do, if you want to do the same experience, I just have to give this virtual reality device to you. You wear it and you feel the same experience, whatever I am talking about. The same experience with the use of the technology can be shared to a number of people. This is what the sharing of experience on the level of technology. All the external things you can share, and it is easy to share, and that is the maximum benefit of the technology. By your use of the technology, let's say I downloaded one movie and I seen that movie and I think this is a really good movie and everyone can see, and I want my brother or I want my friend to see that movie. What I have to do? Just send the name of the movie and he can download. He might be there in the California, but he can download right away and he can see the movie and he can experience whatever I was talking about. So that means the external technology is easy to share and it is shareable. The first thing is it is shareable, and the second one is it easy to share. On the contrary, if we talk about the spiritual science, if we talk about the inner experiences, I know most of the time people had experienced good sleeping experience. I am just talking about the sleeping experience. People had a sleeping experience. People go for sleep, and every night they might not have the deep sleep, but sometimes they might had a deep sleep where you are fully relaxed. You had this experience. Now the question is, can you share this experience to anyone? I can say, okay, as yesterday night I had a very deep sleep, so is it fine? Is it fine that I can share it? No, I cannot share my sleep. At the most, what I can say, I had very deep sleep. But then you ask me that, okay, can you share that sleeping experience with me? You cannot. Even you say, okay, I want to go in a deep into sleep. It is not on our hand. You might not. You might not for number of days. So this is how it works. And that's why there is a need of a guru, there is a need of a master who already walk on that path, who already had those experience, and because of that he can guide you. He can tell you, okay, go ahead and stop. He can tell you where you have to go fast, and he can tell you where you have to slow down. So this is what the requirement of a master in the spiritual world. Even I am in the positive thing that even a small thing can be solved with the help of the person who knows already about it. Let's say I want to learn mathematics. If I want to learn mathematics, I can do it by myself, it's not a problem. But if I do by myself, then the time the time consumption might be higher. I might have to spend 20 hours, but if I take a help from someone who is already a mathematician and ask him to help me out with the process, though he will show me number of things which I try to learn by myself in number of hours. He told me within like 5-10 minutes, half an hour, and that's all. So that's why guru means a person who already walked on the path, who already had experience, and now he is sharing his experience. I mean, not sharing, but he is giving his experience so that you can do the same experience, you can pass through the same experience, and if you feel any hurdles in between, you can solve by help of that person. So this is how the master and disciple system works, and that is a method in India. In India, when you see most of the paths working on the master and disciple thing. Master learn things, my master do those things, and when he done with that, he teach those things to the disciples. Then from the disciples, one of the disciple will become master because he knows most of the things, and then he teach it to the disciple, because you cannot write it on the paper. And even if you write it on the paper, you cannot explain it, or you cannot explain it properly. The another example I can give you is, let's say I never assume that I never had a taste of sugar, and now you already had a taste of sugar, and you are saying that sugar is so sweet. Or I can say I never had a taste of sugar cane juice. So I never had a taste of a sugar cane juice, but you just had it, and now tell me how you're gonna explain me that how sweet the sugar cane juice is. You can say it is sweet. So sweet is, everything is sweet. I can't understand with the sweet word. I need some more to understand. So tell me what more words you can use it for myself, because I don't know about it.
Words can't describe.
It can't describe, right? Because it is based on the experience. When the experience is there, when you are talking about the inner experience, this inner experience you cannot share, or you cannot write it on the words. because this experience is beyond the mind. You don't require a mind to experience those things. You require a mind to explain those things. But those experiences which you already had, you cannot put it on the paper. That's why there is a need of a master. Most of the time when we talk with the people and when we read any scriptures, all the scriptures keep saying one thing, and that one thing is you have to take a deep dive into yourself. Into yourself means you don't have to see outwards. Outward means the external world, but you have to deep dive into yourself. Then you will find a real happiness, a real peace. By listening those words, it is totally confusing. Like you cannot go ahead with the words. The first question should arise from here is how you take a deep dive into yourself. If I have to take a deep dive into the swimming pool, it is there. Swimming pool is there, water is there, the jumping pad is there. I just have to jump. That's all. And then I can have a deep dive into the swimming pool. But when we talk about a deep dive into ourselves, then it is difficult. Rather than difficult, I can say there are no ways out to go into the deep. If you see the book called Gita, it is from Indian scriptures. In that, Lord Krishna written that you don't require any materialistic things to go into the deep, and you don't have to reject it as well. You don't have to reject it. You don't have to accept it. Just close your eyes and you can go into the deep. Which means going into the deep means you don't have to go anywhere. I have one guy in India, like he was working in, it's called dam. There are a number of dams, water preservation dams, and if you see the dams from the top, there is huge water, but below the dam there is one structure where a person have to go and repair the dam and go very deep below the water. So he was a technician. He was working in the dam department, and he was a technician. So what he used to do, he have to go there below the dam and see and check, maintain everything, that everything is working fine or not. So what he was doing, when I asked him to go into the deep and do the meditation, he went there, he go into below the water, and he sat in meditation over there to feel the deep. Because we have a habit to find a internal depthness by using external things. If I ask you how you feel peace, then one might say, okay, I will go and take ice cream. When I take ice cream, I feel peace. Or what other option is? You can see, this is a one person, there are number of person, and everyone have their own way. The other will say, no, I will go to watch a movie and I feel internal peace. The other one say, okay, I will go to the restaurant, I will take my favorite food, and then I will feel internal peace. So even when we talk about the internal peace, we are moving towards the external directions. As that guy had done, that when I asked him to go into the deep, he just went into the deep of the dam, sat there for a meditation for half an hour, and he kept to do the same meditation, and he was saying that I was doing meditation into the deep. So the explanation of the internal depthness, again it is coming from the external things. And that's the problem, because we have a habit. What habit? we have a habit of finding a solution by doing something, by doing some external things. And this is what we had done from last number of years from our birth. If you follow the Indian yoga scriptures are saying that this is not the only birth you have. Before that, there are number of births, and in every birth, in every life, you had done the same. When you feel to go deep inside, you try to go external max. So you are just moving toward external, and then you are looking for the internal peace. It is, I am talking about the matter where, let's say, I lost my mobile on the top floor, and I am searching the mobile over here in the basement. Why? Because I am scared of going top. It's better to search a mobile over here, which is not possible. Even I spent my whole life, I cannot find my mobile. Same way, when we talk about the internal depthness, internal peace, at that time, we always try to find something, and that something will take you to the external areas, and that external area will give you peace for a temporary time, and after getting that peace, again you will be the same as you was. So the thing is, we have a habit to search the solutions externally. Whenever there is some type of frustration comes out from inner side, that frustration might be due to the physical thing, that might be due to the mental thing, or that might be due to the spiritual gap. That spiritual gap is coming when you understand that you don't have any physical problem, when you understand you don't have any mental problem, still you are not feeling happy. If you are not feeling happy, even if you don't have anything, any problem in your life, so in that case, this is called a spiritual gap. But because of the spiritual gap, you feel discomfort at an external level. You feel discomfort at the body level. You feel the discomfort at the mental level. And from there, you start finding ways out. And your ways are always towards the external areas, because that is what we had learned. It is hardcore setting in our DNA, in ourselves, that whenever you had a problem, whenever you find a gap, try to find it with your senses. Try to find with your eyes, try to find it with your nose, try to find it from your air, try to find it from your skin, try to find it from your taste. These are the 5 senses through that we see the world. We don't have any other option to see the world except those things. Just assume you stop all these 5 senses. How you experience the world? Let's say you don't have a skin sensation, you don't have a taste sensation, you don't have a eye sensation, you cannot see anything, you don't have a nose sensation, you can't hear anything. If this is type of the situation, just think about this situation, like how you experience the world. Mind is done. Now there are no movements in the mind because all the tools are done. But still the presence of yours is there. This is what I am talking about. This is what I want to tell you right now, that when we talk about anything, we always try to go towards external areas. When you go towards external areas with the use of your senses, it always gives you happiness with pain. It is already attached. Let's say you go to, like, you don't feel good, so you go to the ice cream shop, you know that whenever you feel something, you feel not happy, you when you eat ice cream, it will give you a peace, at least temporary peace. So when you eat ice cream, it will give you a peace, but with the happiness of ice cream, you will come to know that ice cream gonna end. I'm taking 1 cup of ice cream and ice cream gonna end after 5 or 7 scoops. At the most, what I can do, I can ask for another, I can ask for third, I can ask for fourth. But then the feeling of taking ice cream decreases. Now, what was happiness before, now it will be the pain after. And that is a basic feature of all external things. Whenever you do any external thing, initially you will find a happiness, and then later on you will find a pain. It is already defined. As you have selected one, you already know that it is gonna give you pain. So this is what the thing is. Through the senses you try to find out the solution, and we are not able to find the solution. The solution is not easy to find, but now we had a habit. Now we developed a habit to find out the solution. Normally the process should be, you should be relaxed. When the problem comes in, you should be tensed, and then again when the problem goes, then you should be relaxed again. So you are relaxed, you are tensed, and you should be relaxed. So this is what the normal process is, and your body functional in the same way. But because of our experience from number of years, from many years, we have created a process, just reverse the process. Now what we had done, here we have stress, here we have a relaxation, and here we have a stress again. So rather than creating a habit of relaxation, we had created the habit of stress. Relaxation should be the prior one. So the process should go with relaxation, stress, and relaxation. So start with the relaxation and end with the relaxation. But apart from there, what we have developed, stress, relaxation, and stress. So when there is no problem, I am just talking about this thing because I had seen people who are following the process. Let's say if you ask a person to sit comfortably on the sofa without doing anything for 5-10 minutes, half an hour, what will be his reaction?
He will be frustrated.
He will be frustrated. Why? This is a perfect time for you to stay with yourself. You can stay calm. You can stay easy. But rather than staying easy or calm, you feel frustrated. Why? Because you don't have anything to do. If I ask you do one thing, change the cushion from here to here, you feel happy. Again do the same thing. Do it for 100 times. Now you have a useless work to do, still you have a work to do. Because you have a work to do, you are happy. But I tell you, okay, do it for only 100 times. After 100 times, stay again for 25 minutes. This 25 minutes is harder because again you don't have to do anything. So this is what I am saying. Stressed, you are in between relaxed, and then again you are stressed. So we created a habit of staying stressed. And whenever we don't have a stress, we don't have a work, we feel what to do. Rather than being relaxed, we created a habit to find a stress. Let me find out something for me. I have a spare time. I have a half an hour of spare time. I have a 1 hour of spare time. out of my 24 hours, let me find something. Why? Because you don't want to spend that half an hour of time with yourself. So indirectly I can say of one line, which is you are trying to run away from yourself. Indirectly you are running away. You don't want to be with yourself. When you were in your mother's womb, you were there with yourself. At the end of your life, when there were nothing, everyone will be there near to you, but still you don't have the senses. Every senses will be gone, and at that time only one thing remains with you, that is what? Your own consciousness. And this is the most frustrating time. Why? Because you created this habit from whole lifetime. Don't stay calm, don't stay easy. If you don't have to do anything, try to find something and do something. I am not saying you just stay calm and don't do any of your economical work. I am saying do your economical work, do everything, but after doing everything, if you have a time, spend it with yourself. So when I am talking about the end of the life of a person, he don't have the anything, he don't have senses, he don't have the eye, he don't have a air, he can't speak, he can't taste, his skin is already like it's already done, so he cannot feel the external experience. By this external experience, now you have to be with yourself. This is by force situation, and in this situation normally you got frustrated. Why? Because you created the habit. Whenever you have particularly this type of time, run, don't sit. And if you sit, you feel more frustration. Yoga says the same thing in different way. What the yoga is saying, if you have this type of situation, feeling of frustration, feeling of depression, stay with yourself. I understand the depression and the feeling of frustration come out, feeling of uncomfortableness will come out, but that feeling of uncomfortableness you have to just observe. And that's why we used to do Maun Shibir, which is called a silence camp. In silence camp, you have to sit in with yourself for 10 days without doing anything. If I ask you to do one mantra, you can spend your whole 10 days in that, but you don't have to do anything, and from there you can learn how to stay with yourself. I am not saying the level of frustration or level of uncomfortableness will start during that time, but I am saying just observe those level of discomfort and level of uncomfortableness, so that now you are quite calm with that type of situation, and later on you learn how to be in that situation rather than finding a way to go out. It is very long camp, 10 days camp. In Canada, in US, I know people are busy. In India, people are busy. In world, people are busy. I already accepted that. But this is how the life goes. You have to find a gap in between. Still, it is difficult for a people to go ahead with those type of situations. But the thing what I want to tell you is, when you be in that situation, when you are comfortable in uncomfortable situation, at that time you at least have a taste of that. Let's say you came to my home and I prepared something for you. It was so tasty, you already eat that and you find the taste is so perfect. So this is the experience what you have for your lifetime. Now you will find the same experience when you go anywhere, if you go to anyone's house, you can go to any restaurants, any snacks or any snacks bar or wherever, you try to identify that experience what you had with my place. You compare it, and when you compare, you come to know that that was so high and this is so low. So this is not as per my requirement, it is too so high. So I have to find something else. And you just keep searching. Why? Because now you have a standard parameter of particular taste. Same way, at least for a one time, if you had a taste of an inner happiness, at least for a one time, it is not difficult for you to find that taste another time. At least you have a standard level. You know that what taste I am talking about. And that's why I ask you people to go to the Maun, go for a Maun camp, silence camp. But I understand 10 days is really difficult. So that I identified a new process which I name as a Anand Kriya. Normally, for this is what we are doing for the people who are already doing meditation. But here we have few new guys. We can go ahead with that. But this is not our routine process. But our routine process is different. This is what we are gonna do right now. Is a different. So when you come for next time, the process might be different because we will not be doing that Anand Kriya. But right now we will be doing that Anand Kriya. I already show you, Amit bhai, already you shown the
Yes, I did show the newcomers.
yeah, newcomers, and many other people don't know about it. So I will explain it and then we will start doing that. Now, so what I already described till now, when you close your senses, your mind automatically slow down. When your mind automatically slow down, you might have a feeling of inner peace. You might have experience. I am saying might because it is not confirmed, but as you keep doing it, this will start rising. The experience start rising. So for that kriya, as I told you, what we have to do, we have to go out from the external focus. Normally we try to keep focusing on the external things, but right now I am saying we have to just remove our focus from the external area to the internal area. As I told you already that whenever I see that okay, you have some problem, you try to find the solution by external way because our focus is over there. So now by this method, by force, we are asking our consciousness, our mental psychology to find something which is from inside. This is a temporary, I call it Anand Kriya because after doing this Kriya, people feel happiness. It might be temporary because as I said, it is a temporary Kriya or it is a temporary exercise, but still it creates sometimes a standard. The standard of happiness that you received after this and in your normal external focus activities. If you have a comparison, you will be calm. If you have a comparison, you will be happy. So what we will be doing over here, we will be putting the question in such a way that how you focus yourself for an internal process. How you go inside. If I create a ladder, one small ladder, I'm just giving you the marketing idea because that is what going in the market. That is what going in the spiritual market. That's what I'm saying. If I create a ladder, small ladder like this, right? Now, I explain you that this ladder is very good. When you put it here on your this area, neck area, and put it over here, and from this ladder, assume you are going up, and you are going in. If I do that, there are many people who start believing in those things. It is useless it is waste. Still people will start doing those things, and they will say, okay, yeah, we got an inner happiness, and then after that, if I sell that inner ladder for a $1,000, people will be ready to buy. Why? Because this is how the thing works in the world. You cannot use anything from the external world to go inner world. Buddha said, don't run anywhere, don't find anywhere, don't look for anything. Just stay calm. Just stay calm, and you will feel the inner peace. Because now you are not running. As the experience of Lord Buddha had left his family, his wife and his son, and he went to the jungle. He do some kriyas over there. He done fast for number of years, and after doing everything, on one day he was so frustrated. He come to know that I cannot do anything. Whatever I am doing is useless. And whatever I am doing is useless, that means the feeling of I am not doing anything comes into his mind. Whatever I am doing is useless, and it is not gonna help me. I can't do anything. Till that years, after he left his home, he had something in his mind that I can do something. I can find something. I can find the spiritual truth. But on that day he said, okay, it's done. Whatever I can, I already done, and this is my max. Now I can't do anything. And he just sat into the meditation, and he got enlightenment. Because he knows that he cannot do anything. Whatever he had to do, he already done. When he went to his wife for a first time after a number of years, most probably 15 to 16 years, he went to his wife back after this long process and after enlightenment. His wife asked him one question, that when you left the home before few years, and when you come back here, so my question is, when you are searching for something, did you find something there inside the jungle which you cannot find at my place? Then Buddha have no answer. He said, even I can find the same thing over here, but that was my understanding that I can find something, and that's why I ran away from the place, from my home, from you, from my kid. So the thing is, we have to go inside, and to do so, we will be doing a meditation. Meditation is one of the process. In doing that, so we are following certain kriyas. One kriya is a chanting of Om, which you already know.